Hello, FPS Idiot here. This is going to be a specific review on the ROCCAT TYON mouse. I purchased my TYON in December 2014, and I've been pretty happy with it. I've been using it while playing Battlefield 4 mostly. I play Community Test Environment, Hardline, Battlefield 3, and recently I got out my Battlefield Bad Company 2. This feature review, as stated earlier, is a basic review focusing on the DPI settings and the in-game DPI switching. I'll explain that in a minute. I'll also use a standard USB mouse as a comparison. Now this mouse is capable of a maximum of 1600 DPI. To clarify, I'm doing a specific review to show that using a superior gaming mouse over a standard mouse, you will not only get 4 times the maximum DPI, in this case with the TYON, which is 8200 DPI max setting, but the ability to instantly change your DPI setting while in game. Here are my ROCCAT TYON mouse DPI settings. Found under the main control tab, you will see a DPI switcher settings window. Here you will find 5 customizable DPI setting selections. Now under these 5 selectable DPI settings, I put 800 DPI as my initial setting. Setting 2, 1600 DPI. Setting 3, 3200 DPI. Setting 4, I set 6400 DPI. And then I set setting 5 to the maximum available 8200 DPI. Now I chose these settings randomly initially, but I did find that the 800 DPI was the lowest I felt comfortable with. And then I just doubled it from there. The important thing here is just to make sure your settings are even and they gradually go up from low to medium and then to the highest setting. The ROCCAT TYON mouse is unquestionably the best mouse I have used in first-person shooter games. Now, the reason I purchased the ROCCAT mouse, what sold me on it was the accelerator paddle. It's on the left side of the mouse, just above your thumb. You reach up to it and you toggle up and down. It takes the place of a joystick for me. And I key mapped my pitch and my roll in the jet and helicopter for better control. Now I've been able to actually do loops in the helicopter. With a standard mouse and keyboard playing in vehicles, I was never able to do anything like that. And I can make the tightest turns just pushing the paddle up for my pitch up control. Not to get sidetracked though, that was the reason I purchased the mouse. Now, the DPI switching, you key map your keys 9 and 10, which is on the top left mouse button area. It's just to the left, and basically the back one is down, and I made the front one up. So basically, I start off with my 800 DPI setting. I can make manual DPI changes simply by pressing mouse key 10, which uses the settings that I predetermined, my 800, 1600, 3200, 6400, and 8200 settings, one setting at a time for whatever I'm comfortable with. Now if I'm in a tank, this happens with a standard mouse. You are going along in a tank and for whatever reason you realize someone's behind you in another tank and you start sliding your mouse across your mouse pad or desktop, and as you're doing it you find the barrel only goes so far and you reposition your mouse and swipe, reposition and swipe, and you make these little quarter turns, and by the time you get to that point where you can shoot, you've already been blown up. So what I do is I will jump on that 10 button and I will up my setting, usually to the maximum. I will just click 2, 3, 4, 5 and I'll get to the 8200 DPI. And with one continuous move, I will position my mouse a little bit farther away from my keyboard and slide it in towards my keyboard. And that barrel will go all the way around the tank with one movement. Now the ROCCAT TYON mouse has many features that can be customized. For one, there's a fin switch on the top that just kind of fits in between your fingers. You can customize that. There is a 2-level illumination. The wheel has a light, and around the base there's lighting. You can have different colors for the top and bottom. You can match the colors. What's really neat too is however you configure the mouse, when you save your custom settings, you can save it with a lighting color. So you can choose all blue for just being in Windows, and when you log into your game, then you can choose red and yellow or red and orange or whatever you prefer. It's a very feature-rich mouse, and I'm really enjoying it. Now I'm going to focus on the in-game testing. I'm going to show some video where I'm actually doing stuff in the vehicles and on foot to give you the idea of the advantage you have using a superior mouse in-game. Okay, so here I am in the tank, and I have my DPI set to the maximum, 8200 DPI. And I'm just going to back the tank in right here while I'm taking the spawn point and go ahead and show you the distance the barrel moves. What I did was I just moved my mouse to the right of my keyboard a little bit, and then as I slide to the left with a continual motion one time, the barrel goes around the tank 3 times. Then I just slide back in the direction where I started, and it goes around the tank 3 times. That's just one motion going in both directions. Now I'll go ahead and jump in the gunner seat and show you how fast it actually goes around. Much faster than a standard mouse. Although you can move around faster in the gunner seat with a standard mouse, it's much faster. You cover more distance with this DPI setting. In fact, you may want to back this down. Click your down button one time and go to your 6400 DPI. This is good for guys running up on you and trying to plant C4. You can quickly patrol the area, just kind of spin to the left and right or all the way around a couple times and stop them from blasting you with the C4. Okay, let's have some fun with this Tyon gaming mouse at 8200 DPI. Hey, look, it's a rabbit. Hey, I can bunny hop too with my barrel. Okay, let's log into this map here and hop into a tank. I've already installed my standard mouse with a 1600 DPI max. I'm going to get in and we'll move the barrel around and see how it feels. I'm going to just make regular movements with the mouse and see how the travel feels, just to get a feel for it. And then I'll go ahead and move the mouse away from the keyboard just a little bit and do a one continuous slide in the direction of the keyboard to see how far the barrel will travel, just like I did with the Tyon mouse. Okay, so as you can see, the movement is limited by the standard mouse. Let's jump into the gunner seat and we'll take it for a spin. Now while we're spinning, you can see that it's much smoother. It's less inhibited than the main barrel, and it's even harder to tell the difference between the Tyon mouse and the standard PC mouse. In any case, you still will have the advantage using a superior gaming mouse over a standard PC mouse. Now back to the ROCCAT TYON mouse. We're going to do some maneuvers in the helicopter. Okay, so it feels very responsive to my inputs. So I'm going to go ahead and try a barrel roll to the right, and it's pretty easily done. Back up, get some elevation. Then a barrel roll to the left. Let's see how smooth this feels. This is now one continuous motion to the left towards my keyboard. And then I'm back up straight. Now in the little bird, I'm going to make sure I have the proper elevation, and I'm going to go ahead and do a loop. Okay, that loop was quite successful, so I'm going to go ahead and pull another one. Now each time you do a loop, the helicopter does lose altitude gradually, so if you kept looping you would end up hitting the ground. So you have to be careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and roll this to the left with one continuous motion. This is one motion towards my keyboard. Now it looks like I lost elevation rather quickly, but with the high DPI settings I'm able to pull this one off without crashing. This just feels really good. Okay, so I'm back on my standard PC mouse. I'm in the little bird again, and I'm going to go ahead and roll to the left. I'm really trying to do this smoothly, and I just couldn't. I hit my keyboard right there, and I could not commit the roll. So I'm going to go ahead and try the roll again. Okay, I'm trying the roll again, but I'm having to pick up my mouse, and it's just not working. Okay, so for the comparison, I'm going to go ahead and do a loop like I did in the little bird in the other map with the Tyon mouse, and I am trying with all my might. I cannot get this helicopter to flip around. I'm afraid it's going to crash if I keep trying, so I'm going to go ahead and reset here, get back up, and I'll try one more time and we'll see what happens. Diving down, pull back as smoothly as I can, keep it centered, and there's an outside shot of it. Okay, I'm trying to commit to this one, I'm trying to commit to this, see if I can save it. And this just isn't working. Okay, we're back with the ROCCAT TYON mouse installed. We're going to do a little close quarters combat footage here just to show how easy the mouse moves. I'm going to be doing some fancy footwork here, spinning the mouse from left to right and doing some really good kills. At this point, I'm not going to do any more comparisons to the standard PC mouse because this footage speaks for itself. You can tell if you look closely that I do have an advantage with the movement I'm getting with the Tyon mouse. Well, thanks for watching my review. I really appreciate it. I put a lot of thought into it, and I hope you got something out of it. If you like my review, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe. If you'd like, give me some comments, feedback in the comment section below, and I will reply. Thank you.